Hello，大家好啊！又翻到嚟，我哋又探討翻呢個印花稅可以退減嘅呢個嘅主題啊。嗱，咁咧其實當上一條片咧，大家睇咗之後啦，咁大家都可能心入邊嘅問題咧就係話咁其實我做呢個印花稅嘅退減啦，會唔會係引發到嘅問題啦例如喺法律上邊啊，或者稅局會唔會突然間好似 spotlight 咗我自己咁樣咧我依家去話做一個嘅refund 咁樣，咁會唔會話影響咗之後買屋咧？咁其實我哋今集咧就會從呢個法律上邊啦，咁去講解一下咧，其實大家咧點解會有權咧可以咁樣做啊？咁咧同埋咧，其實過往都有好多嘅例子咧，已經成功咧係離婚咗啦，大家係有個法律嘅背景去支持住對方嘅。我哋又邀請翻咧阿 Nick 咧為大家去講解下啦。Hi Nick, can you explain about legal way how people have the right to refund the stamp duty? What is the background information and which law is referring to this action?
Yes, of course. So the first thing is that maybe about 7,000 cases have been reclaimed over the last 4 years. Obviously, we've done a large number already. And the reason for this is that the law says that you can make a reclaim. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you the exact legislation so you understand this is real. And this legislation relates to stamp duty, and it's the Finance Act 2003. And within this, it says that if a mistake was made, or if you believe a mistake was made, then you can apply to have the overpaid stamp duty back, repaid to you. So then the question is, well, why would there be a mistake? And generally speaking, it's because conveyancing solicitors will go, well, that's a house, and you must pay residential rates of stamp duty because it's a house. But actually, there is case law which says something different. Now, the way case law works is that you have legislation, which is a bit vague sometimes, like it's not that clear. And sometimes there are disputes between different parties. In this case, there was a dispute between property developers, PN Bewley, and HMRC. And HMRC lost the case. And in the case, the judge said that residential property is basically a property that is suitable to be used as a dwelling. And if it's not suitable to be used as a dwelling, then it's not residential for stamp duty purposes. And stamp duty, if we use our cost calculator here, stamp duty is much lower if you use non-residential stamp duty. So, for example, I'll just do a quick calculation here for you. And let's say it's you purchased within 4 years and you bought it as a company because it's an investment, and it's 30% because you've used one of Kyle's coupon codes, and you've paid £100,000 for the property. So you may have overpaid by maybe £3,000, made overpaid stamp duty by £3,000. And with our help, you could reclaim £2,100 of that, and our fees would be 30%. And that's a no-win, no-fee. So in other words, we only invoice if you get paid by HMRC. So it's quite an important point. But anyway, going back to the law, if you can show that your property was not suitable to be used as a dwelling, as somewhere to live when you purchased it, then you have a case to get your stamp duty repaid, because the case law says, which isn't quite the same as legislation, but it's one step down. The case law says, if not suitable for residing in, it is not residential. Carl, would you be able to recap on that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Nick. 咁喺呢個 Financial Act 2003入邊咧，都清楚講明㗎啦。如果喺當初大家係俾呢個印花稅時間咧，係一個錯誤嘅計算嘅話咧，咁法律上邊咧係賦予你權力咧，你可以去呢個稅局嗰邊咧就追回翻你嗰個俾多咗嘅印花稅啦。好似 PN Bewley 啦同埋稅局啦，當初咧係打呢個官司入邊咧，咁其實呢個咧稅局咧係輸咗嘅咁輸嘅原因咧就話咧法官就認為如果一個物業佢本身咧係一個唔適合居住嘅物業嘅話咧， 咁咧就唔可以當佢一個居住物業咧嚟收取呢個印花稅啦。咁因為居住物業嘅印花稅率咧係稍高嘅，咁但係咧呢個稅局輸咗啦，咁所以咧佢就退回翻啦當初俾多咗嘅印花稅啦，俾翻 PN Bewley 啦。咁其實嗱呢個咧大家要留意一樣嘢啊，我哋咧唔係話咧特別將嗰個物業嘅用途咧由住宅轉做咧商業物業啊，又或者轉做商鋪啊，唔係我哋做呢樣嘢嘅。咁而只不過話咧，如果個物業本身你俾印花稅嘅時間佢係一個住宅嘅物業，而翻勾到個原因咧唔係嘅話咧，咁咧你就可以跟翻個 low rate 去俾翻個印花稅啦。咁呢個非住宅物業嘅印花稅咧係會平少少嘅。如果你有呢一方面嘅證明嘅話咧，咁咧其實你係有權啊去提出呢個申請嘅。咁咧就你可以係用呢個 Stamp Duty Advice Bureau 嘅 service 咧，就係幫你咧去將啲證據咧去整理好咧，就成為一個嘅 case file 咧，就向稅局嗰邊咧去申請退回。因為稅局就話，只要咧你喺4年之內啊，你咧係有證據證明咧你個物業咧係當初買嘅時間係唔適合居住嘅話咧，咁咧就會成立咗呢個嘅案件啦。咁佢咧就會退回個印花稅噶啦。咁其實個法例咧就係咁簡單嘅。咁喺過往嚟講咧，已經係有超過7000個嘅成功例子咧，係因為咁樣而申請咧退回翻印花稅嘅。咁所以咧喺個實際層面上面咧，其實呢個法律咧係真係賦予咗大家咧有咁嘅權利去做嘅。Thanks, Nick.
So I think that there are probably about 7,000 paid cases that have been run through with HMRC. Now I'm basing this on my own research, our own volume of cases, and also the number of properties out there that are viable. So I've done a deep dive on this, but essentially I think there are probably, in the UK, there's probably something like 40 or 50,000 properties out there that would be claimable. And so the rule of thumb is it's 15% of all properties sold in the UK go to investors or foreign nationals, roughly. And roughly 14% of those properties are not in habitable condition. And therefore, there's a lot of claims. So the main point is that if you make a claim in what's known as good faith, then the law is behind you. So as long as you make it under the case law of PN Bewley, under those arguments, then if HMRC say, no, we're not going to pay, well, okay, we would contest that with them anyway and find out why. But in our experience, nearly 100% of cases that we submit get paid. And we know that there is an incredibly high success rate. So the way it works is you put in your case, then if HMRC come back and query the case, and bearing in mind there's a 1 in 150 chance, or another way of putting it, in 99.2% of all cases, HMRC will not contest or not ask any questions. You just get paid and that's it. And then once you get over the 9-month timeout, so you get paid, you get over the 9-month timeout, then you're absolutely clear. Now, if they did come back and say, excuse me, we disagree with our original decision, we want to get that money back that you reclaimed from us, then, well, we would pay our fees back to you, firstly. So, you know, you have all of the money that you gave us, that goes back to you. Then you would repay them and you would pay a small amount of interest, which works out at around, say, for a £5,000 reclaim, it would probably be £200, £300, something like that. It's a very small amount of interest. So it's a very safe thing to do. Maybe you could explain Chinese.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Nick. 嗱，咁其實喺嗰個實際嗰個操作上邊咧，就係如果只要大家咧你係真心地相信咧，你嗰個物業咧係可以 refund 到呢個印花稅嘅話咧，咁基本上咧你已經可以申請啦。喺阿 Nick 嘅 service 入邊，佢同你做個 case file 咧，就會遞上去個稅局啦。咁個稅局咧其實就收到呢個一個 case file 之後咧，咁佢哋會簡單睇一睇㗎。咁咧如果都冇乜大嘅問題咧，一般嚟講咧，咁佢哋6個禮拜咧就可以將啲錢咧就退翻俾你啦，將你個印花稅啦俾多咗嘅部分啦，咁可以退翻俾你啦。咁咧當然佢哋咧會留有一個叫做追溯期嘅，咁有個9個月嘅追溯期嘅。咁如果喺9個月入邊咧，佢哋覺得有懷疑嘅某啲 case 啦咁佢哋咧就會抽翻出嚟睇睇咁樣啦咁咧就大約每150個 case 抽一個嚟睇嘅。 咁如果抽翻出嚟嗰個睇咧，佢覺得咦真係有問題嘅，claim 唔到嘅話咧，咁佢哋就會問大家咧就攞翻當初咧佢哋稅局咧退翻俾你哋嗰個印花稅啦嚇。咁以假設啦嚇，呢個5000磅嘅印花稅咧，你退回為例啦嚇，咁佢問你攞翻嘅。咁當然阿力嗰邊都會退翻個費用俾你啦。咁 make sure 你5000磅咧，你係齊翻咧，可以還翻俾稅局。咁咧稅局會收翻呢9個月入邊咧有一啲嘅利息咁樣啊，咁200-300磅到啦。咁樣就作為呢個對於呢個稅局嘅補償咁樣，大家睇翻啦嚇，其實咧就150 case 咧先會抽一個啫嚇。咁只要咧大家咧係個基本啦，大家你本身你係真心相信嘅物業本身有問題啦。咁當然啦，你個證據亦都係證明得到你個物業咧本身係真係喺買入嘅時間咧唔適合居住嘅話咧，基本上嚟講咧個風險咧就唔算好大嘅因為你真真正正咧。你間屋咧係真係有呢個缺陷咁而你俾多印花稅嘅。如果你話真係有機會會抽查翻咧，而翻轉頭咧，咁嗰啲咧可能係一啲非常之細微 condition 嘅問題啦，咁而照樣去申請咁樣，咁可能稅局咧就褪咗嗰個印花稅俾你啦，咁可能係稅局未 check 清楚嘅緣故啦，咁佢批咗先。咁當然係人手不足啦嘅原因啦，咁稅局都係先批咗先啦，咁之後先抽查啦。咁佢哋係咁做，咁因為背後嗰個原理。咁但係大家可以撇除啦呢啲複雜嘅啲話題啦。咁其實基本上咧，如果你真係個物業係值得去 reclaim 嘅話咧，咁我都鼓勵大家咧，你係真係可以去 reclaim 即係無謂咧俾咗額外嘅錢啦。咁反而你不如留翻啲錢咧去做翻個好啲嘅維修對間屋啦，對個物業啦，對個市場嚟講咧都會反而好啲添咯。今日咧就分享到呢度啦，咁希望大家會了解得到啦，印花稅退回上面嘅法律嘅支持啦，同埋實際上面嘅操作啦，咁俾到大家個信心啦，可以去咧申請嘅。Thanks, Alec, for your explanation of legislation angle and the encouragement for the investor to think about when they can start the refund if they believe that their property is eligible for the refund. Is no fear for any problem as it is the law giving the power to the people to have the refund action.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Thank you.